We are deep into the beginning of Star Wars. We can see it all happening every day. And the cause of this is being pushed forth by what we call evil spirits and demons. Now, however you may think that to be, or whatever you may believe about evil spirits, something in your mind, if you don't believe this record, what is it that makes you feel or have ill will towards somebody? Or are you saying, I have never ever in my life turned an evil eye toward anybody or had a bad spirit, so to speak? What is that drive, that whatever you may call it? You want to call it intuition? Well, what is that intuition that makes you say in your heart, I can't stand that black? You know what? So y'all, where this started on this side of the flood, the same cause caused the flood. And where that started from was what we call holy watchers or angels of the Most High, the sons of God, decided they want to do what man was doing and left their estate, left their realm and came into this realm. Had they way with the daughters of men and created giants after the flood. Those giants perished, but the spirits of them moved on and came across that flood. We hit a little bit of that Enoch, is that 14th chapter?
Yeah, that's one too, yeah, 14 to 15.
Yeah. Just read a little bit of that for me so we can understand where these spirits come from, and we're going to jump right into some Jubilee. Also, y'all down here, the book of Revelation, the book of Jude, the book of Genesis speak of Enoch the prophet. So y'all, when y'all hear a lot of things about lost books, test those books against the law of the Most High.
That's right.
And if they violate the law of the Most High, put it down. So y'all, we have not seen anything violate the law of the Most High in the book of Enoch. If you know it's something, that bring it forth. But if you just say, come on, man, you believe giants was that tall, then the only thing we're going to say is, come on, man, you believe a woman was pulled from a man's rib and fashioned. You believe some dirt was molded and it breathed into it and it became what you are now. You believe everything made was a thought process of the Most High and it came into existence. Now you believe in all of these, what we call miracles, but when we get up here, you having a problem with these things. It's all or nothing with the scripture, y'all. If you hear it's been tampered with, know that that individual has been tampered with by an evil spirit. Christ said the volume of the book is written to me. So if there's a tampering in the New Testament, it's a tampering in the Old Testament. Y'all, it's all or nothing with the word. Either you believe it or you don't. Once you start trying to figure out what's tampered with, it's like trying to pick ham hock juice out of a pot of greens. It's tainted. Where we at, man?
Hey, you got Enoch. Which one? You go to chapter 6 when the angels fall, you want to jump to 14.
Get right to 14. I tell you what, before you do that, let's hit Genesis 6 and then jump to that 14. And just name that Enoch where it's at.
You got Enoch, that's Enoch chapter 14. Well, Enoch chapter 6 through chapter 14.
Okay. Yeah, but I want you to just hit on the points and get right to 14 where it say where these spirits are. And we're going to see how the Most High uses everything. He started everything, y'all, wonderful. Because the sons of God or the angels shouted for joy when they saw the creation of the heavens and the earth. There was nothing evil, because everything we trace back to, who can trace evil back before Satan? That's the question. If you try to use the 2 Kings 21 where there was evil, we read in Job all throughout. In the book of Jasher, Satan comes amongst the sons of men and asks questions to the Father. But it's Satan, who you got before him, that's evil. And we read in Zechariah chapter 28, verse 12, that Satan was in full righteousness, full of wisdom and brightness. He was the high priest. He wasn't high priest. Walking amongst the stones of God till iniquity was found in him. So he was never created evil. But free will was created by the Most High, which opens the door for created wickedness or evil. Just like you. It's called reaping what you sow. If you sow something wrong, guess what you're going to reap? So, in essence, you may say to yourself, man, I created this whole situation by doing what I did. But we're going to see, y'all, where the Most High uses these evil spirits for disobedient children. There's a lot of questions about the death angel. When the Messiah sent him, who is the death angel? Who's been given orders to kill? I'm going to go over a few of those things because Satan has been given permission at times to kill. And since he was a supernatural angel and still is a fallen supernatural angel or spirit, he still go and request certain things. Let me kill. But he can't touch the soul. Fear him who can destroy body and soul.
That's right.
And Tophat. Like the fire. Let's get it. We'll get it.
You want Genesis 6 and 1?
6, and I just want right where it's getting crazy.
That's 1 to 4?
Yeah.
The book of Genesis chapter 6. We'll start at verse 1. Let everybody get there. I was looking good. First book of the Bible, 6th chapter. 1 to 5. Genesis 6, verse 1. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth.
See, it starts off because the question is always, well, those were sons of God, were the sons of Adam. Now, the scripture don't record as such. Because you still going to have a problem with Job, 1st and 2nd chapter. You still going to have a problem with Job 38. You're going to have a problem with Paul saying our hope is to become sons of God. But once we get into the priesthood, into the order, that's why the order is so important. If you into Aaron, you pull him back off the cross. How you going to hear or prophesy about Christ and being the sacrificial lamb and then decide, well, I'm having doubts about believing in him. And you go back to Aaron. There's no more sacrifice for you. Christ ain't going to be put back up there no more for your cause. That's what that Hebrews 10 is talking about. There's no more sacrifice. It's done. It's Christ. Who are you going to put up next? Benjamin Carter? Ulan Mitchell? Jim Jones? Who going to be the next sacrifice? The Antichrist is coming, y'all.
Ain't none.
And he going to fill that void for a lot of that want to believe, that don't want to believe in the one that walked the streets of Nazareth as a youngster. What you got, man? Go ahead.
Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth,
right?
And daughters were born unto them.
See, this say men. So Cain's seed was around as well as Adam's seed. And when we say, well, the sons of God was righteous, then that means everybody from Seth on down in that line were all righteous. And flip the script. Looking at some women, if that's how you believe the sons of God to be. And what about the daughters of Adam then? Did they go crazy and get with the sons of men? Cain's seed? We ought to have that in the writings too, shouldn't we? But y'all, we go from the top to the bottom. This war started in heaven, Revelation 12. And Satan and the third been doing this for a long time. brought that same drama to the garden. It was already here. It was a tree of good and evil, just like this electronic tree of good and evil you have today called the internet. You want to play around out there? There's good and evil out there. You can find anything. Look, y'all, when the script says in the last days, knowledge will explode. Y'all think it's a wonder every time you pick up a newspaper, new articles found every day. They're unearthing everything, what we call pre-Adamic or before Adam's time, before he reigned on this kingdom as a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Where these dinosaurs coming from? Did they get on the ark, or can you prove anywhere in these scriptures? Job 40 and 15, behold behemoth. Some say it's a hippopotamus. A hippopotamus' tail is about like this. You continue on in Job, it says his tail is big as a cedar tree. What beast is like that during Adam's reign to the flood? We need to know. Show. What you got, brother?
The news this past week, they just found some giants, skeletal bones in Russia.
Look, it's busting wide open, y'all. We got to know the time we are in. It's choose up time now. What side you gonna rep? The brotherhood of the Messiah or the world? The choice is yours.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Where we at?
Verse 2. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years.
Now, if we look at that, we say, okay, the lifespan went down because Adam lived 930 years. Methuselah lived 969 years. But nobody has lived a day in the Lord, which is 1,000 years. So when Cain sinned, Adam and Eve sinned, they didn't die in what you would call 24-hour day. But they died before one day of the Lord, which is 1,000 years. So they were in righteousness at that time because they were in paradise, so to speak, free of sin. Created, free of sin, just like Satan was. So the deal is, did the Most High create evil? Some will say yes, and we'll try to use the second king. But it ain't working because you can't go back past Satan. And we read about where he sinned in the heaven, and he was perfect. So we need an individual before him. Where we at? Go ahead.
Verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days.
What was there in the earth?
Giants in the earth in those days.
Right.
And also after that.
And also after that. Go ahead.
When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown.
Now we need to get some understanding. If the sons of God did wickedness and this made them become mighty men or giants, then we need a list of which one of these sons of Seth did this. Because we see again that then men begin to call on the name of the Lord on Enos. So where are these men that you say are the sons of Adam saw Cain's daughter and they committed wickedness that caused giants in the land? Well, if this is what you're saying is race mixing called this, then what's the boy Blake Griffin? Blake Griffin ought to be a giant. And certainly all of the other Hebrews, Boaz, King David's granddaddy.
Yeah, that mean everybody that's a product of interracial relations is a giant. That's
right.
What I'm saying.
And then when we look up giant all throughout the scriptures, everywhere it's mentioned, they're given another name like a race of a whole different people.
Yeah, Nephilim.
Raphael. Sons of men. What you got right there?
This right here, y'all's fossilized customs, the pagan origins of popular customs, Lou White, 10th edition. On page 203, they got the skull of a giant. This skull bigger than dude's body. But they excavate these things all the time.
Every day.
We're going to pass it around so y'all can get a close look at that. That's a skull of a giant right there. The dude just excavated right there. And it ain't like this is the only one. They find them all the time. So the scriptures say giants, and then they dig them up. But then you still want to say race mixing.
Right.
That produces giants. Look how big his skull is. Pass that around the room.
But y'all, ain't no, even if you say it's that, you still got to account for what's being dug out of the earth. Or they planting the stuff. They fabricated it in a warehouse somewhere, put it deep into rock and sediment. Now you know better than that. Because then you have to deal with all the archaeology find mentioned in the scripture was put there too. And then we back to, the white man said all of that.
Yeah.
Y'all, right here, article with the Daily Mail just the other day. The skeleton is believed to belong to a Colombian mammoth that stood approximately 8 to 9 feet at the shoulder, 20 to 60,000 years ago. That's another problem. If you count back from where we are to the day to time of the time we are in, 2014 BC, before the Common Era or before the Christ era, you counting back to Adam. Now all these other doctrines, Egyptology, but Christ is made up. Why are you using BC then? Why are you using the time system based around Christ's birth? How you gonna use a time system made off a man made up then? It's crazy, ain't it? So everything goes off of BC AD around that common era. This is the era time starts. And you can count back. And so when we count back, 6,000 to 12,000 years since the garden. So when you got some 20 to 60,000 or 500 or 200,000 years, you're going to have to explain where that come from. Because we're supposed to study to answer all things. You think that question ain't going to come up and we spitting the Bible answers everything? It answers everything. So when that comes up, if you ain't got an answer for that and say you're a follower of this gospel, this doctrine, then guess what? Your next follower or who you will be tailing behind is called evolution.
Which is some madness anyway.
Where you at, man?
I was gonna
But right here, y'all look at this. This is a dinosaur bone. Right here, the tusk is 6 foot long. Where did this come from? Y'all, them angels not only mixed with, broke through that ram and mixed with preternatural and supernatural, whichever. Okay. They come into this realm and also make it with animals and beasts. Y'all, this is why bestiality, homosexuality, and an orgy is all tied together. And then when you sacrifice to a demon, you are sacrificing to the evil spirits, Satan and these offsprings. That's why continually Paul will say, look, because you see meat in the marketplace, if the meat ain't been sacrificed to a demon, you good. Because if you eat that sacrificed meat, those demons will dwell inside of you. These evil spirits we're going to hit script on. When Christ at the Passover, he said, you eat of this bread and take of this cup unworthily, you create damnation on yourself. Don't you know you could bring evil spirits, an evil spirit to come to you if you at the Passover? Man, I heard all of that. I'm just waiting for these niggas to get through all this preaching. I heard they talk about the little lamb. And I heard some liquid libations in the back. So you think you just gonna eat and drink down, swallow down, and ain't nothing gonna happen. I don't believe in all that mumbo jumbo. Okay. Where we at now?
Genesis 6, verse 5.
All right.
And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
See, when the imagination is only evil continually, all you have to do is look at the spirits of these reality shows. Every imagination is evil. Go over there, cuss him out good, tell him how you feel. Tell her how you feel. It's continual evil, everything in these what we call reality shows. And they suck you in. You surrounded by, it ain't going nowhere till Christ come back and fix it. But just like Job, he shewed evil. Lot, he shewed evil that was all around him. You can do the same thing. Where we at, bro?
Verse 6. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth.
Right.
And it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, and Yahweh said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping things.
See, so y'all look at these. We're talking about man and beast and creeping things. Yo, he said, I'm going to destroy everything. What should the animals be destroyed for when the Most High say, all of my things are done in righteousness, what I do? What is he destroying the beast for, too?
Must have been some type of bestiality going on.
Yo, everything had to be put to sleep. Even when we read in the law, Deuteronomy and Leviticus, hold on, bro. If a woman come near to a beast, put her and the beast to death. Yo, when a dog humping on your leg, what do you think? What do you think on his mind?
Right. He cute.
What's up, bro?
I got something to support that. It's in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. In verse 23, it says, "For God created man to be immortal,
Right.
made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold on his side do find."
Yeah.
And then you skip over to the first.
Where you at there? You in that
Wisdom of
second?
Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, absolutely.
And then you skip over to the first chapter, verse 13. He said, "For God made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things, that they might have their being. And the generations of the world were healthy. And there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of the death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal. But ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught, and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part in it."
They made a covenant with it. Y'all look, that's in the Wisdom of Solomon. Solomon had mastery over evil spirits. Mastery over it. They was doing his bit. What do you think the book of the Grimoires, who the author of that is? Because Solomon married many strange wives. Now, this would constitute Solomon to be a giant man, full of wisdom of the Lord, and then take on strange wives. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines, or second-tier wives. 1,000 women. That would mean 3 a day, and don't see them 3 again for a whole year.
The whole treasury is close.
So, if that's the case, Solomon should be called a giant.
Or his children should.
Or his children. So should King David. How did Solomon not be called a giant, even after what David did?
Yeah.
Then Solomon, or all of his sons, even Absalom, them, somebody should have been called a giant. Or men of renown. Have David ever been called a man of renown with that supernatural feat of taking Goliath down? At 14 or 15 years old, the scripture said he was a stripling, a young boy, teenager.
Well, you know what? They get that from that Sirach 44, you know, when they go into all the history of our forefathers.
Yes.
They say, let us praise famous men,
Right.
men of renown,
Right.
that goes in further or whatnot.
The only problem with that, the word giant is keep being used in the scripture. And when the Hebrews talk about giants, it's always about a person, not just normal sized men. They start describing. Goliath, 9'6", 6 fingers on each hand, 6 toes on each foot.
Are those giants, because the scripture always make reference to the trees of Lebanon?
Those were what we were talking about, trees in the garden. Ezekiel 31, go back to the garden. The trees that were in there, because these are supernatural beings. Y'all have to understand, tree has to be a supernatural being. You are the branches or the offspring. Christ is still the tree of life. That's why he's the root and the offspring of David.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel 31.
31 talks about all the trees that was in the garden. But Satan and his crew are trees too. Christ say the same thing in Matthew 7 and Matthew 12 when he said, you shall know the tree by their what? Fruit. And where was tree and fruit first recorded in the Bible? In the garden. So yeah, tree worship go back a long way, y'all, way past Jeremiah 10th chapter. Tree worship is much greater than that. When that tree in the garden, who was Lucifer and his partners, roaming around like they roaming around now. And the same of Michael, Gabriel, Uriel was the trees, or just like when you read about in Revelation, it'll say, and 12 tribes will sit on the throne. And the angels will be there. Those are our brothers, y'all. When we get back into the adoption, that class last week, when you understand that to get back into that supernatural fold, what Adam was in before Lucifer tempted Eve. That's the adoption. That's what we're trying to get back to. A heart that's free of, you don't have to say when company comes, lock that door behind you. Rubbing your chin when somebody come by, a sister. Winking and blinking. None of that if it don't belong to you. What you got, bro? Move on. Go ahead.
He actually didn't say that first.
Go ahead, Mordecai. Something up there, bro.
I was just gonna ask you. You were saying about the animals. Like I know spirits can go into animals. Like when we see how Christ is sent them into the swine, right?
Right.
But you saying they can reside in animals, just like inevitably?
Look, the chief things that demons take hold of is swine and mouse.
Yeah,
65, 66, when they defamed the altar of the Most High God, when Nero took it down, what did he put on the altar? Look, why is it always swine's blood and the Most High talk about the swine and the mouse? This defiles any temple. That's when Isaiah 66, when he said, when
You tried that.
yeah.
Sound of the law, I keep through.
But y'all, all of these things, what you got, bro? Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to add, they're actually trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. They're working on a project where they're trying to gather enough protein of, extinct woolly mammoth, and they're trying to recreate these things. It's all just going on in the life source, genetically modified plants and stuff.
That's right. Now, y'all, why do y'all think every time they're dealing with human DNA and animals, it's always the swine and the mouse? They grew a human ear on the back of a mice. You can Google that right now. Human ear grown on mice. Do it right now. Y'all got smartphones. Also, the first man, they wanted to put a pig heart in him.
Yep.
Why you ain't never hearing the heart of a sheep or goat or any of these things, the clean things? Why? Is all because they need to defile, which is your temple now, your body.
Also, whenever they go to test cancer, test you for cancer stuff, they try to create cancer on swine's flesh.
Y'all see, y'all better understand why demons know what host body to jump in. And when you gobble up that food which is listed in the scripture,
Man, take that outside.
is not food.
Take the batteries out of something.
Which is not food. Swine is not on the food chain in the Bible. Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy 14, it says it's not food. So when you put that in you, and it's been sacrificed to demons, like on an Easter celebration, plenty ham round. And you know money don't lay eggs. So what is that feast for? And what's the main menu? Chitterlings and hog maws. And what is a hog maw? Let's be where we at. Okay, so y'all, we get the understanding of giant because everywhere in the Numbers, the Deuteronomy, you're going to see Joshua, when they went into the land and spied, they said we were like grasshoppers to them. Some say, well, they just seemed so powerful to them. Well, then the script clears your mind because it talks about the bedstead or how big the bed was this man laid in. 14 feet bed, 6 foot wide.